Today we are going to be providing this foundry with some iron ore and coal. The coal is not going to go from this because that's going to be too close to this town, the town of Plymouth. We're going to be using this coal mine. I'm going to be moving the little rails out this way. In terms of getting the iron ore over, we're going to cut through this passage, not too close to the sawmill. We're going to go maybe through here, along this bottom edge, past Leicester, through the woods, and then curl it into Foundry. This would be a logical part to put the station, but I'm going to actually put the station down this way so that we can have a few more lines going in. If you put the station here, you've only got 2 access points and you can't develop anything on this side. So I'm going to put something on this side, and that line with the coal will go around and into here. So that's the first job. The foundry station needs to be put in place. So we'll draw that out. It's going to need 3 coming from this bottom, so I need 3, and then we'll draw that out. We'll just leave it at 60 for the time being. Obviously this foundry is not in range of that, so we've got to add in a platform that just gives us access to it. If we look at that now, that gives us access, and then we're going to draw this line around here, and that will come right out like we said before, through the woods, which is going to be a nice run for the train, round the back of Leicester, let's see where we are in relation to this iron ore mine. So I'm going to draw the station out next. This is going to go, let me just do some landscaping. I want to just see what we can put here. I don't want to get too close to this sawmill over here, so I'm just going to knock that a little bit, and then we can run a line going from the iron ore to this one. Again, just a small station to start with. I'll come back and put the platform in a minute. That's going to run across close to that edge. So we're well away from the sawmill, that's not going to interfere with anything. Bring that down, and then we're going to curve that in to meet this rail here. So that's going to be the track for the iron ore. Let's just get that platform in. So that brings in, is it knocking on it? I'm not sure it is. Let's just put another one in. That's certainly in range now. So we've got 2 there. We need to have a depot for the train to run. So this is going to run all the way across. We'll have a look at that, the train running afterwards. This is going to have a platform with a shelter somewhere over here. Then we're not going to be going over that way. We're not going to go in over these rails. We're going to have a platform, so everything's going to be coming out this way. And that might be, actually it might be an idea to put this one into the next bay. So let's bulldoze that, and we can put that one. That probably makes more sense to have that swinging into that second bay. And then we've got this one coming out this way, which is going to pick up the coal and send that into there. So that looks a lot better. In terms of depots, we can probably strike a depot on the end of this one. Let's do that now. And we get this train running. We're looking at finances all the time, don't forget. We do have quite a bit of profits each year, so I'm not too worried about going into loss. We'll get the porter again, because I don't want to use up these tokens here. So we'll get the porter, and we'll get some wagons on there. Let's see how many we can get. The Fisher, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going over. So that one will need to come off. So we just got the 3 there. And then we can get that going from this station, which is the iron ore mine near Hamilton, over to the Foundry. It doesn't matter which one you click, it'll go to the Foundry. So that's that one. We'll start that up. We will come back and have a look at the trains in motion once I've got the lines fixed. This Foundry is then going to hook up to this coal mine here. This coal mine, I'll just do a little bit of landscaping on that as well. Let's see how much that needs. Not too much. So we do have plenty of cash in the bank. I'll check the finances in a minute. So we've got 2 down. That's going to run across, just a small station again. And that can run out onto this bottom row as well. I'll bring that over. That can go right along the edge and meet up with this one. So we've got the iron ore and the coal, at least a line established. Let's put in the depot. Might want to put a depot in on this corner here. It's not going to interfere with anything, I don't think, so that can go in there. Engines, we need another porter. Wagons, coal. We'll take 3 like we've got with the iron ore. That should be fine. Orders, we're going from the coal mine over here. I'll need to put a platform in there. To the Foundry over here. And we can start that going as well. So let's quickly put that platform in before I forget. We've got to have coal going. That's now in range, so we should start getting some coal in there. The train's on its way. That carries 18 coal. That's going to go to the Foundry. The Foundry is going to take the iron ore and the coal, and they are going to be producing these iron ingots. So let's have a look at the route for the iron ingots. The iron ingots need to go down to this Toolworks in here. So we go across to this one. You can see that we've already got a station that's available to us. We might have to do a line going out that way. I'm using this line here and coming across to this station. I want to go out and then come down between the coal mine and the factory, just this line here, and then bring that in quite wide into another station at Sheffield. So the station itself, it accepts iron ingots. So all we need to do is add a couple of stations on here and then bring that in. We're not going to interfere with the passenger line. We're going to be having a cargo line added to this one. So that's for the next episode. Let's put that station in. We usually have about 4 stations. And this will be the cargo line here. So that will go out and that will bring in the iron ingots. This needs the terrain. Just bringing down a bit. So that the station can expand and not be in any problems. So we've got a little bit of a hill on this town, the Sheffield one. Let's have a look at the town in terms of reality, not the build mode. Quite a nice station. We've got roads there that we might have to develop. That post office is in a good location. This house is not. So we've got a bit of work to do with this station. But we've got this line set up, that's fine. I'm gonna just drop that out a little bit so we know which line we're gonna add up to. So this line over here is going to get branched off, and that's going to be around about here. We're going to be branching that one off. I don't want to interfere too much with Plymouth Station, so I might have to bring it out a little bit further. Let's see if that's a reasonable choice. I think that's not too bad. And then we can bring it down between the factory and the coal mine. We will need to put some signals on there, obviously. We're not going to get this train sorted out, so that one will come down. Between those two industries. We're not going to be interfering with the forest either. That one needs a little bit of terrain improvement. Just flatten that. And then we can move that. We've got a refinery over here. That can go down. So we'll make it a fairly sharp corner. And that's fine. So that's going to be developed next time. Let's have a look at the trains that we've set up. Let's have a look at them in motion. So this one first of all. I'm going to be following along with that. This will pick up the iron ore. It's got quite a long way to travel. Carriages all neatly packed there. While we're doing that, let's have a look at the finances. So I'll just move it out the way of the train up here. We can have a look at the finances. So we are showing a loss for the balance, but we have spent quite a bit on infrastructure. We're only in March, so by the end of the year we should be in profit. This year we spent quite a lot of infrastructure and vehicles, and we still made a profit of 267. So that's it. Balance wise, it's not going to be a problem. Look at some of these quests another time. So the balance sheet is looking fairly good. Bring that round. We've got quite a journey. We'll just go and watch it fill up with the iron ore. This game is still being updated 5-6 years after release, so the developers are doing a great job. They've not just abandoned it, they are actively putting more content into this game, and I think it's from what it was when I first bought it 6 years ago, it's improved enormously, and it's a very underrated game. You get all the transport fevers and railroad empires, but I think this holds up in its own way with this. It's a different type of game. It's definitely a more relaxing game. I like the fact that the terrain is quite flat in parts. You can modify the terrain, which is pretty good. I said it before, the graphics are nice. think we're only going to have time to look at the iron ore train. We'll have a look at the coal train next episode. This one's got a nice scenic journey. Past the woods, we're coming down to the factory now. Or the mine, should I say. We will need to get something at the station, so I'm just going to quickly go over to the station. If we look at this, we've got some extensions we can build. We've got offices, extended storage and timber tunnel supports. Extensions for the station. We've got an iron ore hopper there which will come in useful. So that speeds up the loading and unloading. So let's have a look at this just loading up. And then we will call it quits for this episode. Filling up nicely. We might in the future do a little loop around here. Once we know how big this is going to be, we're going to do a loop around and then we can take it onto here. It looks a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching this episode. It has been a while since the last Mashinky, but I've had half term with my son. Not able to do any games then, so we should be able to get more and more on the channel over the next month or so. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you'll join us soon.